Okay, this is going to be a little different. This subject's going to be a little different. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a series here. I was talking to some friends the other day, and they were asking me if I would help them in regards to basketball teams. You know, I'll tell you at the end of the video about my basketball background, but one of the things that they asked me if I would help with, and I decided to do a YouTube video for them and for all high school players and college players around the country, maybe even some pros could watch this and say, yeah, this is cool, is to talk about the perfect free throw shooting concept. The perfect free throw shooting concept. Hi, I'm David Essel. You know, in basketball, many games are won and lost by just a few points. I mean, it could be anywhere from 2 to 4 to 6 to 7 points. Could be, obviously, the 1 point could be the difference in a game. And did you know that most of those games that are that close are won and lost at the free throw line? And I wanted to discuss today the perfect free throw. There really is such a thing. Although it could be different for all of us, there is a such thing as a perfect free throw. And I want to start off with just briefly talking about a couple of the components of the perfect free throw, and then in future videos I'll get into more detail. But the perfect free throw has to have a mental component. It has to have, obviously, a physical component. It has to have a ritualistic component. It has to have, when we talk about mental, a disciplined component, and that's a little different. The mental component is the belief, you know, that you can improve your free throw percentage shooting. And the discipline component sounds like it's mental, but it's actually getting out there and deciding that you're going to shoot an X amount of free throws per day. When we talk about the physical component, we could say it's where you put your feet along the free throw line. Is it shooting like Rick Barry? If you remember Rick Barry years ago, you know, the perfect free throw for him was an underhanded toss. And then I remember playing basketball. I played basketball at Syracuse University. And again, I'll tell you more about that later. And I remember playing with a guy in college that shot from one side, a complete side of the free throw line. So instead of being dead on with the basket, he shot from a side. There was another guy that I actually helped coach while I was playing in college. He played for a different team, a friend of mine, that I ended up helping him because he was a terrible free throw shooter, but he was an amazing jump shooter. He was incredible. The guy could knock down jump shots from anywhere in the court. So I helped him develop a ritual, and he shot jump shots from the free throw line. Now, why am I telling you that? Underhand, from a side, from dead on, even from a jump shot style? It's because there is no such thing as the perfect free throw. There are rituals, there's discipline, there's a mental approach, there's all these different things, but there's no such thing as a perfect free throw style. And that's so important. You know, I look at some guys in the NBA and some guys at college, that at the college level, phenomenal basketball players that never have been able to master the free throw, and I've always wished and wanted to get out there and help, because there are certain disciplines, and they've worked with awesome teachers. It's not that they don't have an awesome teacher, but it's just like, you know, why are there thousands of different personal growth books? It's because there's thousands of different ways to say the same thing. And I know from a free throw shooting percentage perspective, there's ways that we need to get very, very focused and find our style. And how do we find our style? Well, what I recommend when I'm working with people is that let's look at the John Stocktons and the Nashes and all these guys that are phenomenal free throw shooters, and let's take some of each of them and try it to create your own style. In other words, standing at the free throw line and bouncing the ball 4 times versus 3, or 8 times instead of 4. Your feet spread apart, or your feet really close together. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. And I'll get into more of this in another video. In other words, we look at all the people that are exceptional, that are just excellent free throw shooters. We watch what they do, and we borrow from them different concepts of shooting free throws until we find our own package, until we find our own style. Now, sometimes when I've worked with individuals in the past, I've said, look, let's watch some of these players and let's try to emulate exactly what they did. Bingo. That's all they needed. You know, they watched Steve Nash. They did exactly what Steve Nash did. He ends up going through his own rituals for every free throw, and these people ended up becoming awesome free throw shooters themselves by perfectly emulating someone who's exceptional at it. Other people that I've worked with, they've taken a little bit from this person, a little bit from that person in order to find their own style. That's normally the way it happens. Okay, so I played in Syracuse University basketball for 2 years, and back then, a long time ago, there was junior varsity and then the varsity team. Unfortunately, the schools don't have junior varsity in college anymore. But that experience was amazing. In the second year, my sophomore year, I led the team in free throw shooting percentage at 83%. And I was just looking at some clippings with my parents the other day, and averaged 12 points. And something else I'll do later on is I'll talk about defensive skills here on YouTube for basketball players, because that's really what I was known for as well. If I can help you at all, this is just an introduction to get you thinking. I'll be doing more YouTube videos later. Contact me at talkdavid.com. If you know high school basketball players, or even junior high, if you know college players, or even if you know pros that are struggling, let them see these videos. Forward these videos on, because just the basic principles I gave you right now might be enough to get someone thinking in a new direction. There's no such thing as a poor free throw shooter that can't see dramatic changes in their percentage, increase in their percentage of being a great free throw shooter if they're willing to put it together with discipline, the mental approach, discipline, the physical approach, and changing their style until they find one that fits them. Again, talkdavid.com. Contact me if I can help you. I would love to. Share this video. Rock on. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.